So welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover that day's newspaper through a set of MCQs. So from every day's newspaper, we'll be covering 4 to 5 MCQs daily. All right. The idea behind this is that if you have read that day's newspaper, well, then your current affairs would get revised. If you have not read that day's newspaper, well, then your current affairs would get covered. And you will get the much needed, much required MCQ practice on a daily basis from current affairs. Now, MCQ practice is very important if you are serious about UPSC next year or next to next year, because prelims is stage 1 and it contains only MCQs. All right. Now, the thing is that if you follow this lecture series regularly, if you make it a part of your daily routine, then every day 4 to 5 MCQs would amount to 100 to 150 MCQs in 1 month. And if you are that consistent and you follow this lecture series for 1 year, well, you'll be covering 1200 MCQs in 1 year's time before your prelims examination. And ask any serious aspirant who has cleared prelims at least once in their lifetime, they would say that covering 1200 MCQs from current affairs is more than enough. So as far as current affairs are concerned, you need not be worried about them in your UPSC prelims examination. All right, now I've said enough. Let's straight away jump on to 29th June's newspaper related current affairs. Okay, let's move to question number 1. Okay, so consider the following statements regarding Shanghai Cooperation Organization. SCO is a political, economic, international security and defense organization which was founded in 2001. The 2024 SCO summit is in Astana because the current SCO presidency is with Kyrgyzstan. India, China, Russia were the founding members of this organization. Now look, Shanghai Cooperation Organization was formed in 2001, 15th June 2001 to be precise. Okay, now it was formed as a Eurasian bloc, countries that are part of Eurasia, Europe plus Asia. Okay, it was formed as a Eurasian bloc that would discuss political matters, economic matters, international security and defense related matters. Okay, now 6 countries formed this bloc. And these 6 countries are the founding members of this organization. Who are these 6 countries? Well, Russia and China are one. Russia and China. Then Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. So these were the founding members of this organization. Later, in 2017, India and Pakistan were added as members. Okay, so now India and Pakistan are members of this organization, and in 2023, another country was added, which was Iran. So as of now, SCO is a 9-member organization, 9-member country organization. Okay, so first statement is absolutely correct. Yes, China and Russia were the founding members of this organization, but India was not. India joined way late in 2017. So this statement is false. Now, the 2024 SCO summit happening in Astana from July 3 to July 4, okay, is happening in Astana, right? And Astana is in Kazakhstan. Okay, because Kazakhstan is holding SCO's presidency in 2024. Last year in 2023, the presidency was with India. Okay, but this year the presidency is with Kazakhstan, not Kyrgyzstan. And that is why the summit is happening in Astana, which is in Kazakhstan. The second statement is also false. Only one statement is correct. The correct answer would be A. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. Consider the following statements regarding Financial Action Task Force. It is a global money laundering and terrorist financing watchdog set up in 1989. FATF plenary is the decision-making body of FATF, which meets once every year. Preventing proliferation of weapons of mass destruction is also a function of FATF. Now, FATF was established in 1989 on the sidelines of G7 summit in Paris. Its primary function back in 1989 was to prevent money laundering on a global scale. Okay, so its primary function was money laundering. Later, after 9/11 attacks in USA, it was found that terrorist organizations are also using money laundering tools to finance themselves. That is why another function was added to the FATF's list of functions, and that another function was prevent terrorist financing. So after 2001, these were the two most important roles and responsibilities of FATF to prevent money laundering, to prevent terrorist financing. Later on, prevention of proliferation of weapons of mass destruction was also added to the list of functions of FATF. So as of now, FATF has three major functions: prevention of money laundering, prevention of terrorist financing, prevention of proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. Okay, so statement 1 is correct, statement 3 is correct. Clear? Now, FATF plenary is the highest decision-making body of FATF, which meets thrice every year. Not once, thrice every year. Hence, statement 2 is false. Only two statements are correct, and the correct answer would be B. Now, let's move on to question number 3. Which of the following statements regarding POCSO Act, Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, are correct? It was enacted in 2012 as a result of India's ratification of UN Convention on the Rights of Child. According to this law, any person below the age of 16 is classified as child. Death penalty is one of the punishments prescribed under this law. Now look, Protection of Children Against Sexual Offences Act, POCSO Act, was enacted in 2012, and the major purpose of this act is to protect children from sexual harassment, from pornography, forced pornography, from sexual assault, right? Its main purpose is to protect children from these sexual offenses. Okay? Now, India had to pass this law. Why? Because India signed and ratified UN Convention on the Rights of Child 1992. And that is why India had to enact this law, so as to fulfill its obligations under international law, because India ratified this UN Convention. So first statement is correct. Now, well, this act contains a list of offenses that might be considered sexual offenses against children. Plus, this act also gives the definition of a child. Who is a child? So this act says that anyone below the age of 18 years will be considered a child, and any sexual offenses against these persons who are less than the age of 18 years, any offenses against them will be tried under POCSO Act. So this law does give the definition of a child, and it's not 16, it's 18. So this is false. Now, this law contains a list of punishments that can be given to perpetrators of sexual offenses. Okay. Now, one of the punishment is death penalty. So it is a very strong law. Very strong law, contains very stringent punishments so as to deter people from committing sexual offenses. Okay, so third statement is correct. 1 and 3 are correct. The answer is B. Okay, and last question. As you guys all know, NEET exams, UGC NET exam, all these public examinations are under scrutiny. And which organization is under scrutiny? National Testing Agency. So an MCQ on National Testing Agency kind of became mandatory now. So yeah, consider the following statements regarding NTA. It is an autonomous testing organization that conducts entrance examinations for admissions or fellowships in higher educational institutions. Okay, it was established in 2017 under University Grants Commission Act. Its governing body includes a chairperson, secretary, and 8 or more officials representing different national level institutes. Now look, the purpose of establishing National Testing Agency was to conduct public examinations related to admissions to higher educational institutions, whether that's MBBS, whether that's engineering, whether that's MBA examination. Only those examinations which are related to admissions to higher educational institutes are conducted by NTA. Not those exams which are for employment, like UPSC, SSC, those would be conducted by UPSC, SSC. Only those examinations which are for admissions to institutes. So first statement is correct. Plus, it is an autonomous testing organization. Now, this organization, NTA, was formed, NTA was registered as a society under Societies Act 1860. So it was not formed under UGC Act. It was established as a society, registered as a society under Societies Act. Okay. So this is false. It was formed in 2017. This part is correct. Now, its governing body includes a chairperson, secretary, 8 or more officials representing different national level institutes. This statement is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Okay. Now, which of the above statements are incorrect? Now, which of the above statements are incorrect? Incorrect. They have asked incorrect, not correct. So only 2 is incorrect. And the correct answer would be B. All right. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it is adding value to your preparation, but it would add more value If you are consistent with this lecture series, make this lecture series a part of your daily routine. All right. I'll see you next time with another day's MCQs or another set of MCQs from that day's newspaper. All right. Thank you, everyone.